last chapter which is there, miscellaneous provision. Please come to miscellaneous provision, everyone. Now, let's go ahead and do the next chapter, the last chapter in GST. The last chapter in GST, miscellaneous provision. People, I will call miscellaneous provision B graded this time because one amendment happened in your registration chapter. You remember what is the amendment? Andhra Pradesh got added to biometric based Aadhaar authentication. The another happened in miscellaneous provision. So I believe it's a B graded chapter. The only two amendment in GST. One is where? Andhra Pradesh, and the second is in miscellaneous provision. Can we go ahead, everyone? Now, so I believe these two amendments, so they should ask only. Array, two only amendment, correct? But when I saw the ICA ka material, no, that is very big. Array, Baba, because it is combining all the amendment from last attempt, etc. That is why it is looking big. Can we go ahead, everyone? Now, there are only two amendments which are there. Now, B graded chapter, from exam point of view, I believe one small 3-mark question should come. Good chances of coming. Everyone over here now. In miscellaneous provision, listen, in miscellaneous provision, I have written what are the questions. People see, I have written what are the important sections which are there. What are the important sections which are there? From which section, what question can be asked? That question also I have written over here. And that question ka answer also I have written over here. This chart is a self-reading chart. This chart is a self-reading chart. But still, I will tell you which point is the amendment which I want to teach also. Section number 158A. Everyone, section number 158A talks about consent-based sharing of information furnished by a taxable person. You tell me one thing. Your GSTR 1 ka detail, your GSTR 1 ka detail, your GSTR 3B ka detail, which you have filed on the gst.gov.in. Does gst.gov.in have your GSTR 1 ka detail? Does it have your GSTR 3B mein your sales etc. ka detail? Are yes or no? Your sales ka detail, your output, input, all detail. Does the gst.gov.in have? Yes. Supposingly, you went to one bank and told, I want a loan. Bank went ahead and told, I want every month ka sale detail, sir. Every month ka sale detail I want. I want to see how much is your turnover, etc. I told, okay, bank, I will give it to you. You know what you can do? You are over here. Supposingly, this is Ramesh Soni over here. Okay? They want my sale ka detail every month. They are telling, sir, if you want loan, etc., we want your sale ka detail. I told, okay, fine. You know what government have developed now? Government have developed something called accounts aggregator system. Accounts aggregator system. I will give the permission. I will give the permission to the accounts aggregator system, and my details of this returns, etc. ka detail will be shared by the Goods and Service Tax Network, gst.gov.in. Say the details will be shared to the accounts aggregator, and accounts aggregator will share it with the bank. So I don't have to give it every month. If I give, no, the bank is telling, Ramesh, you could have edited the details also and given. Correct? You could be cheating also. So they are telling, we want it from the GST network. We want it from gst.gov.in. So what they are telling is, Ramesh, you don't have to give. We will go ahead. See, what is it? What are they telling? You give a permission to the system. System will pull the data and give it to the banks, financial institutions, etc. Are we clear? Earlier, this system which was there, no, this system is known as the requesting system. Earlier, this system was only accounts aggregator. Now, one more system has been notified. See, your exam question, which are the system notified for consent-based sharing? Consent-based means you have to give the consent, only then gst.gov.in say your details will be shared with the banks, financial institutions, etc. Now, earlier the system was only accounts aggregator system. This time, you have to remember this also, that public tech platform for frictionless credit. Again, the name is what? Frictionless credit. If you want a loan, etc. This system is known as, which system, everyone? Public tech platform for frictionless credit. This system also has now been notified by the government, and again, GSTN will share the details with this system, and this system will share with whomever you have given the permission. Are we clear, everyone? Everyone over here. So, sir, which are the two platforms notified? One is the accounts aggregator system, and one is the public test platform has for frictionless credit. Remember this two and go. Okay, 1 mark ka question can come. For have been notified as the system with which information may be shared by the common portal based on consent from the registered person. If you go ahead and give the consent, you don't have to give the consent to them. Basically, you have to give your consent to the gst.gov.in. That, sir, I am allowing. You give it to them. And your gst.gov.in will give it. Can I go ahead, everyone? Without your consent, the details will not be shared. So basically, once you give the consent, gst.gov.in will give the details to them, and they will give it to the bank, financial institutions, etc. What are the two systems? Accounts aggregator system and public test platform for frictionless credit. The last amendment in your GST. Can I go ahead, everyone? Now listen. In this chart, I've just summarized the few miscellaneous provision which I feel from your miscellaneous. Students generally leave the miscellaneous provisions and go. But I feel nowadays ICI has become very dynamic, from where they can ask what question. So what I have done over here, I have written what kind of a question is expected, and I have given the answer over here. It's totally reading, everyone. You just have to read and go. But I will tell you which sections also I like. I like over here section number 161. I like section number 161. I like section number 169. These two sections and this one, 158A. These three sections, I like it. What are the three sections? First section I already explained you. What is section number 161 telling? Section number 161 talks about rectification of error apparent on the face. If any officer issues any order, etc., and there is a mistake which is apparent on the face that there is a mistake, then what will be done? They are telling, explain the provision relating to rectification of error apparent on the face of record under section number 161. It says, any authority who passed or issued an decision, order, notice, certificate, any other document may rectify an error which is apparent on the face. Copy paste mistake. Old order copied. Copy paste mein there was some mistake which is there. Old order ka details only put it in this order. It's apparent that it's a mistake. Then they are telling either on his own motion he can rectify, or when the error is brought to its notice by a GST officer or by the affected person, he can rectify within how much time? 3 months. Remember, rectification can be done within 3 months. Sir, but what is the maximum time? However, no such rectification shall be done after a period of 6 months from the date of issue. It means maximum the rectification can be done within 6 months. Also remember, period of 6 months is not applicable in case of clerical error or arithmetical error arising out of accidental slip. 6 month ka time limit, etc. is not applicable for clerical error. One more point, sir. In case if any rectification happens and my liability goes up or my ITC comes down, I should be provided an principle of natural justice, means opportunity of being heard. People, rectification within how much time? 3 months, maximum 6 months. Clerical error, no time. ITC went up, ITC came down or output tax liability went up, opportunity of being heard. This point I like it. People, that does not mean you will not read others and go. Others are reading material. Now listen. Service of notice in certain circumstances. Can you tell me, when they are serving your notice, what are the various modes of serving the notice? Can the officer come and deliver to your place? What is the way they can give you the notice? So whenever they are sending you love letter notices, how will they send? State the various modes of service of notice, decision, order, summon, or any other communication. If the department has to give you any communication, what are the ways of giving the communication? Number 1, giving directly. People, officer gave you directly, giving it directly, including by a courier to the addressee, they can courier it to you, or they can courier to the authorized representative, or they can courier it to any adult member of the family residing with the taxable person. Next, They will so not send it to my kid. My kid will make aeroplane and throw. So they're telling they will send it to whom? Everyone. Adult member of the family. Then by registered post, they can send it to you, speed post or courier with acknowledgement due at the last known place of business or residence. Supposingly, they are not able to find you. How to serve the notice? They can go ahead and give it at the last known place of business or residence, but it will be sent with registered post, speed post or courier with acknowledgement. Then they can email it to you at the email address which you are provided during registration, or by making the same available on the common portal. They will put the notice in the GST portal, or publication in the newspaper circulated in the locality in which the address is last known to have resided or carried on business or work for gain. Or what they can do is they can circulate in the newspaper where you have resided lastly or where you are carrying out your business. That locality may, which newspaper is there, in that newspaper they will make it public. They will publicize in the newspaper. Or if none of the above modes is practicable, then by affixing at the last known place of business or residence, they will come to your last known place of business and residence and they will stick it and go. What if the last known place of business is a ground, cow is there? Now where to affix? Ground may? No, they are telling if it is not practicable mode, if such mode is not practicable for any reason. What reason? If it is empty ground, where will you stick? Then they are telling, then by affixing a copy thereof on the notice board of the office of the concerned officer. Concerned officer will do what? No, in his notice board only he will put it. If he puts it, it is deemed that he has served the notice. These are the three most important questions which can be asked. Other than that, all are small questions. Please read it, everyone. Now, come to the last chart which is there. Come to the last chart. Anti-Profiteering and Competition Commission of India. I can still think that this part also is C graded. Might be 1, 2 to 4 marks. Either of the charts say 1, 2 to 4 marks should be asked in the exam. Everyone over here now. Competition Commission of India, Anti-Profiteering and Competition Commission of India. Sir, what is profiteering, everyone? See, I will tell you one example. Everyone over here. We'll spend 10 minutes and learn it off. Everyone over here. Supposingly, the GST rate was 18% earlier. 20 rupees mein how much GST was sold? Supposingly, one shopkeeper was selling you one masala dosa. He was charging 20 rupees. 20 rupees mein how much will be the GST? 3 rupees 60 paisa. So he will sell you at 2 rupees, 23 rupees 60 paisa. Let's do one thing. GST rate went up. Supposingly GST rate went up 28%. 28%. 20 rupees ka dosa. Will he charge you 5 rupees 60 paisa? For an example, 28% is 5 rupees 60 paisa. If GST rate goes up, will he immediately increase the GST? Will he take the GST from your pocket? Yes or no? He'll tell, sir, GST rate has gone up, so give the GST. But you know what shopkeepers were doing? When GST rate used to go up, they used to take it out from your pocket. If GST rate came down, then 20 rupees, now GST is 1 rupee, but he's still selling the dosa at 23.6 only. You have seen this? The shopkeepers never reduce the price if the GST rate comes down. But if the GST rate goes up, immediately they will increase the price and take the money from your pocket. This is called profiteering. If GST rate goes up, they should take from your pocket. If GST rate comes down, the benefit also should be given to you. If the equal benefit, so earlier his profit was 2 rupees for an example, but now he's making a profit of 4 rupees 60 paisa. The extra GST they kept in their pocket. This 2 rupees 60 paisa which they are making is known as what, everyone? Profiteering. Are we clear, everyone? And you know what? National Anti-Profiteering Authority was there earlier. Now National Anti-Profiteering Authority ka work has been given to Competition Commission of India. Competition Commission of India will go ahead and deal with these people. What they will do is, they will go ahead and take action against them. Are we clear till here, everyone? Chalo, I'll give you one more example. Tell me one thing. Earlier, when the GST, earlier what was happening? When GST was not there, credit used to be less. It means you never used to get full credit. Correct? Credit was not there earlier. Before GST, free flow of credit was not there. Properly credit people never used to get. So when you don't get the credit, it used to become part of your cost. So you used to sell an item supposedly for 100 rupees. But now with the coming of GST, the free flow of credit is there. So your cost has come down, yes or no? Your cost of making the item has come down because the input tax rate has gone up. Array, with GST input tax rate has gone up, the cost has come down. So they are telling GST introduced in 2017 leading to what? Free flow of credit and reduction in the cost. Prior to GST, credit was 2 rupees for an example. Cost used to be 20. Selling price used to be 25 and 5 rupees profit. Post GST, the credit is more. It means cost has come down by 2 rupees. But still they are selling at the same price. It means they are doing extra profit. Baba, the benefit of GST should be given to the customer. You should reduce your price. If you are not doing, you are doing what, everyone? Such excess profit, that is because of the reduction in tax or benefit of ITC, should be always passed on to whom, everyone? Customer. If not passed, supplier will be guilty of what? Profiteering, and Competition Commission of India to deal against such suppliers. Are we clear, everyone? Now listen. So for an example, supposingly I am over here. I am telling, sir, earlier also he was charging masala dosa 23.60. GST rate come down. He is still charging 23.60. I will complain. I will complain against him. So what will you do? You should file an application. You should file a application along with evidence. Sir, you should file your application to the standing committee which is there. If the application, if the complaint involves issue of what, everyone? National nature. National nature means all India impact ka complaint. It means the supplier is there all India. It means he must be doing profiteering across India. So your complaint which you are filing, that will go to the standing committee. But if it's a local nature ka complaint, then your complaint will go to the state level screening committee. They will first go ahead and screen your application and they will say, okay, is there a contravention of has the person done profiteering? They will do the basic screening and they will send the application to whom? Standing committee. If local nature ka complaint, it will come over here, they will screen it and they will send it to the standing committee. But all India impact ka complaint will come over here directly. Now you know what will happen. They will go ahead and examine all the documents, etc. and they will see whether there is any profiteering which has happened or not. And screening committee will send their proposal basically saying, ha sir, there was a profiteering which has happened. They will send within 2 months plus 3 months, they will send it to whom, everyone? They will send it to Director General of Anti-Profiteering. Now Director General of Anti-Profiteering, before initiation of proceeding, will issue a notice to both the interested party. Hey, you come here. Hey, you come here. And he will go ahead and say, why are you doing profiteering? Hey, what is the problem you have with him? All this they will talk and they will investigate and collect the evidence. Their time limit to complete the investigation is 6 months plus 3 months. An extension can be given 3 months by the Competition Commission of India, and upon completion they will give their report to whom? Competition Commission of India. Now listen, Competition Commission of India will call both the parties again and give opportunity of being heard to the interested parties, and it also seek clarification. It can, if it wants any clarification, it can also take clarification from the DGAP on reports submitted. If Competition Commission of India determines a registered person has done what? Profiteering, it may pass the order within 6 months. Now this is the most important part over here. When Competition Commission of India is passing the order, what are the 4 things it can go ahead and say? Mean what kind of order it can pass? Number 1, hey, reduce the price of your commodity. Number 1, reduction of price ka order can be given. Number 2, hey, you charge his 2 rupees extra, give him back his 2 rupees. But I'll say, sir, I charge 2 rupees extra, no. To 1 lakh people, they ate dosa in my shop and went. 1 lakh people ate. How to return 2 rupees to them? They will tell no problem. Government will tell no problem. Do one thing, give the money to us. See here, return it to the recipient along with interest, amount equal to the benefit not passed on. From that, interest has to be given from the date of collection to the date of returning. If eligible person does not claim or not identifiable, how will you find out who are the people whom you sold masala dosa, idli, etc.? You charge them more GST. Then they are telling deposit 50% in the state central consumer welfare fund, and state consumer welfare fund may deposit 50% along with interest at the rate of 18%. Government is telling no problem. You can't find them. You give it to us. Next. They can also go ahead and impose a penalty of 10% of the amount profited, but no penalty if the amount is deposited within 30 days. And they can also cancel your registration. Do you remember? Registration may section number 29(2), it is told when you go ahead and violate the provision of section number 171, if you do profiteering, your registration will be cancelled. People, I want to ask you one thing. What are the orders they can go ahead and pass? In the order, what decision can be taken? Number 1, reduction of price. Number 2, return the benefit. Number 3, along with interest. Number 3, penalty. Number 4, cancellation of registration. This 4 point, I find it important. Other than that, whatever small points are written in this chart are just reading category, everyone. So, please mark this, everyone. What order can be passed by them? Okay? I'll do one thing, everyone. I'll close my revision on the chapter of miscellaneous provision and also GST. GST ka revision is done. Thank you. In GST, 2 amendments. One is biometric based Aadhaar authentication introduced in Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat and Puducherry. Biometric based Aadhaar authentication is there. Okay? Secondly, frictionless credit. Public tech platform for frictionless credit has now been introduced for sharing of your consent based sharing of your information. Congratulations, people. Closing my revision on GST.